Let's check in. Let's talk a little Florida Gator recruiting. We got Corey Bender outside the stadium. Corey, let's get to it. Who'd the Gators make a move with this weekend?
Yeah, I think Chancellor Campbell, that's a guy, 6'8" offensive tackle out of St. Petersburg. I put an RPM pick for him last August, so it's been a long time in the works with him. But this weekend, we were told that Florida kind of wanted to put their foot on the accelerator and hopefully get it done this weekend. And all the returns that we've gotten have been very positive. So I still feel really good about them. You know, it's a very thin offensive tackle board for Florida this cycle. And Campbell's a guy who Florida feels like has really improved over the last 6 months. Very high ceiling at 6'8", 300 pounds. That's one guy to keep an eye on. I think another one too, Josh, so Morgan Wingo, a 4-star wide receiver out of St. Augustine. I put in an RPM pick for him late last night. I've always felt Florida had a slight edge with him. Even when last cycle, when this class wasn't in the spotlight, Florida was still viewing him as a priority and really showing him a lot of attention. He attended almost every home game last year, and it's really been Florida and Miami. Those have been the main schools, Alabama and South Carolina as well, but it's really been the in-state schools. But I think right now confidence is high in Gainesville. Those are two guys I'm definitely keeping close tabs on as of right now. And there's a few others too we can discuss.
Sure. Corey Bender, we got boots on the ground in Gainesville, Florida. Windy day out there. Hey, where are the recruits coming out of? Can you kind of turn the camera around? Show us a little.
Yes. Yeah, so it'll be back there, like over there. That's some of the rest of the media, but they'll be coming out over the building. So we're right outside the football facility. Darion Williams is the only prospect that's came out so far, Florida State wide receiver commit. He didn't want to do interviews right now, but Florida and FSU, even though he's committed to FSU, he said both schools have been neck and neck for a while. So we're going to try to get him on the phone later today. But yeah, we have about 11 guys we'll be trying to get a hold of here in person today. So we'll definitely have a lot of coverage of Gators Online.
Yeah, so what happens on these recruiting days? They're obviously ending their trip in the stadium. Is this like a meeting with Billy Napier? What are they doing right before they come out and see you guys?
Yeah, usually it depends because they have to everyone's schedules are a little bit different, but a lot of time positional coaches will meet with them this morning. They go to the campus and look at the different dorms and stuff like that. They do one last little tour as far as academics. It really depends. You have some kids that meet with Billy Napier on Saturday. You have some that meet with them just before and they leave on Sunday. But as of right now, I mean, most of today, they all leave around this time up to 3 or 4 o'clock. But yeah, most of the time it's positional meetings with your position coach. So if it's a receiver, like we mentioned, Murray Wingo, he'll be meeting with Billy Gonzalez and then spend about 30 minutes with Billy Napier, who puts the final touches on the visit. And then right those doors, like I show you behind us, that's when they come out. And that's where we get all the intel and trying to get all the best info for you guys.
Yeah, Gator fans really seeing how the sausage is made there at Gators Online. All right, so it seems like Florida Gators, no stranger to 5 stars on campus. It seems like every weekend they have at least one 5-star on campus. This weekend it's wide receiver Sadarian Morgan. Sometimes they come on campus, we feel like Gators got a good shot. Sadarian Morgan, more of a long shot. How do you see this recruitment right now? I know you haven't talked to him yet, but did the Gators make up some ground this weekend?
I think they definitely did, Josh. I think the biggest thing is he comes from a household full of Alabama fans, so it's a really Crimson Tide household. I think it's nothing Florida's not doing. They're making a good impression. They're in contact almost every day, several staff members. But I think the biggest hurdle for Florida, Auburn, all these other schools involved, Georgia, it's really just beating out Alabama. So I think once he gets behind Alabama, it's a pretty crowded bunch. But I know this weekend he had both grandparents with them, his mother's here. They had a bunch of people on this official visit. So obviously it was an important visit for the family to take. And he was here last fall. He was here earlier this spring as well. So this is his third known visit. So I think that shows that, interest is definitely strong. And I know he always says the fan base at Florida is really second to none, the support the program gets. So I know this weekend, that's one guy that really rolled out the red carpet for. And like you said, I'm eager to kind of get his thoughts on his visit. I think Alabama will be difficult to beat out, but would it surprise me if Florida ends up being, Alabama's top competition, or really wouldn't, just because they've been playing the long game with him for a while. And we'll obviously see, what they have to say. This is one of those guys at almost 6'5". He's like a high school, like Kelvin Johnson type. And I know Billy Gonzalez, the receivers coach, he likes the big body wide receivers. This is exactly the mold of what he likes from these high school kids. And I know obviously this weekend, they definitely rolled out the red carpet for him.
All right, more Florida Gator recruiting talk all week long on Gators Online. We're going to be talking Florida Gator recruiting here on the On3 Recruits channel. Corey Bender, thanks for dropping by today on this live edition of the Inside Scoop.